Ever since the Switch launched all the way back in 2017, there's been talks of what games could run on the system, whether the hardware would be powerful enough to run said game, but constantly throughout its lifespan the Switch has been delivering impossible port after impossible port. This very much started with the masters of impossible ports on Switch, Panic Button bringing the port of 2016's Doom to the system, which shocked many, and ever since then the team has been pumping out many high-profile titles for the small system. But now it's time for yet another impossible port. This time it's Apex Legends making the jump to Switch, but can Panic Button deliver another brilliant port? Let's find out. Let's just talk about the game first before we talk about the technical side of things. The main goal of Apex Legends is essentially the same as any other Battle Royale game. You enter, you drop out of a ship into an arena and scramble to get a decent load of weapons and armor, whilst the playable area decreases in size. The winner of the match is whoever is the last person standing. It's certainly a great and cool idea, but it has been done to death. But thankfully Apex Legends does change up the formula quite a bit. First off, instead of playing as a generic guy or gal, you're instead one of several playable Apex Legends, special characters each with their own personality and special moves. Think something on the line of the Overwatch cast and you're on the right track. When the game originally launched there was 8 legends, but over the past few years we've seen loads of new legends join in the game to make for a pretty impressive list of 16 legends. When first playing you only gain access to a few characters and the rest will have to be unlocked through normal play via leveling up or buying them straight out with real world cash. Anyway, the characters you do gain access to all have cool moves that really do help out with each match. For example, there's Bloodhound, a really cool character that can reveal hidden enemies and traps in your areas, to Lifeline, who can heal players on your team. The cast of characters are great and they really do add a bit of personality to the game, and there should be even more characters added later on down the line. Each team member chooses their own legend, but there can't be any duplicates in the team, so everyone has to be a different character, which is a good move. Once you drop in the stage, you have to work as a team to survive and be the last team standing. You can, if you want to go solo and ditch your teammates and go do your own thing, but Apex isn't really made for solo players, and most likely or not, if someone on your team ditches you, your team will fail. The game works really well when working as a team, and even if you haven't got any microphones, players can ping areas of interest or enemies so everyone knows where to go. Another neat feature is that when you die, your teammate can save you so you don't have to quit the game when you die. It has to be said, shooting here after all this time still feels amazing to control, and is much better than other Battle Royale games on the market, but that is to be expected coming from Titanfall developers Respawn Entertainment. The game is free to play, and as expected the game features a whole multitude of microtransactions which are all here in their entirety to no surprise. You can buy Apex coins in various packs, and these vary in prices from a few quid all the way up to an eye-watering £80. There's also your typical standard loot boxes which give you a random cosmetic stuff as well if that's what you're into, but honestly it really doesn't bother me. Thankfully, the microtransaction don't promote pay to win and instead just focuses on the cosmetic stuff, which isn't so bad. If you're like me and not keen on spending real world money on virtual cosmetic stuff, then you'll be pleased to know that it doesn't affect your experience. Time to talk about the Switch technical side of things, and as you can guess, it's a real interesting showcase. For the resolution, we have a dynamic resolution of 720p for dock play, whilst in handheld it's around the 570p mark. Whilst playing in docked, it's certainly a bit of a rough experience on the big screen, with many muddy textures, blurry backgrounds which can make playing the game very difficult. The frame rate is at 30fps for both modes and it's a bit of a mixed bag. When dropping down into the map, the frame rate is pretty rough, dropping to the late teens, but thankfully when you're on the actual battlefield it's more stable with only a few drops here and there. When playing in handheld, it's actually not that bad. The lower resolution does translate well on the Switch smaller display, so it hides most of the graphical issues. It's still not perfect however, some of the textures still take a while to load in and the frame rate is still a little bit worse in handheld play. The game has crossplay feature, which is all the rage these days. allowing you to play with players across the globe on all platforms. This is all fine, but Switch players will be at a disadvantage due to the lower frame rate and the pretty poor resolution. Thankfully, you can choose to play in a pool of Switch-only players, and this is the best option for Switch players. Alas, the game doesn't include cross progression, so if you're a player on another console with loads of cosmetics and legends built on your profile, you can't bring them over to Switch, which is a shame considering a lot of you on other consoles probably put hundreds of hours and a lot of money to get what you've got on your profile. It's even more of a shame when you see that other games like Rogue Company already do cross progression on Switch. So if you're on another console and want to play Apex Legends on the Switch, you'll have to create another new profile. Conclusion time now, and it's great to see another impossible port happen on Switch with the release of Apex Legends. It's still the same great hero and team-based battle royale that has been keeping millions entertained for years now, but now with the added portability of the Switch. To get it running though, there's been a lot of cutbacks, most noticeably in the frame rate and the blurry backgrounds, which can be very hard to see at times. But if you're playing with just a pool of Switch players, then you should be alright. So with that, I'm giving Apex Legends on the Switch a 6.5 out of 10 with a title of OK. As always, thank you for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be great. And until next time, as always, happy gaming. Bye.